PNG DF stages Counter Terrorism Drill. Fishing vessel returns with dead body. And Morobe Wawens secure third place in NSL Finals.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Saturday's news. Members of the Long Range Reconnaissance Unit have demonstrated a drill on how they will respond to counter-terrorism attacks if it does happen during the APEC Leaders Summit in November. The drill involves a hostage situation whereby an APEC delegation is held up and taken hostage on their way to a meeting venue. The drill was witnessed by Minister responsible for APEC, Justin Tichenko, and senior officers of the PNG Defence Force and the police.
The drill is part of the preparations the Joint Security Task Force team has undertaken to tighten up security for world leaders during the Leaders Summit. For this particular demonstration, members of LRRU display how they would respond to a hostage situation. In this drill, the bus transporting a number of APEC delegates was ejected and the passengers on board were held hostage. Upon receiving intelligence that APEC delegates were held hostage, members of the LRRU will respond. This footage shows how PNG DF snipers would react to the situation before a team of specialized soldiers would approach the bus, disarm the attackers and free the hostage.
I think the Defence Force is placed at a level and at a position that it is now, I must confidently say that it can support the RPNGC in delivering APEC. So what the demonstration that you've seen this afternoon is a demonstration of any other counter-terrorist elements around the world that is preparing to support any government.
LRRU, formerly known as the Special Force Unit in the PNG DF, was formed in 1996 to respond to small emergencies in the country. Since its formation, the unit has been engaged in some taskings directed by the government. They include the rescuing of Indonesians who were taken hostage by West Papuans in 2015, the Ramsey operation in Solomon Islands in 2003, and the Bougainville Sandline crisis in 1990.
Is the stage and the level that we've reached in preparation for APEC. I'd like to thank our great friends from Australia and New Zealand for the support that they have provided all these years. And I must say, the capability we've reached now to support the police for APEC, especially for the Leaders Week, is a transformation.
This capability is seen as a transformation in the history of PNG DF, as it prepares specialized soldiers to respond to emergencies at an international standard.
Getting security right for APEC in the lead up, especially for the Leaders Summit and the CEO Summit in November this year. But what we're doing as well is we're embracing their hard training by also making sure that this is a legacy that will last on for a long, long time after APEC.
This training is mainly to address counter-terrorism. It is one of the many sets of training that has been undertaken to ensure that Papua New Guinea delivers a safe and secure APEC. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Trade ministers from the 21 APEC economies have agreed to work collaboratively towards the goal of liberalizing trade within the region. The ministers agreed to accelerate efforts towards achieving the Bogoro goals, the Lima Declaration on Free Trade Agreement for Asia-Pacific, and to harness the opportunities brought about by the internet and digital economy.
trade ministers and heads of department at the 24th MRT welcomed Papua New Guinea's theme of harnessing inclusive opportunities, embracing the digital future. The ministers concurred that the APAC economies must lead the economic growth in the world, and the agenda to promote sustainable, innovative and inclusive growth in the region remains a priority despite growing digital divide, income gap and social inequality.
We see that there are challenges as we move to address some of the issues in each of our APEC economies, because none of us is the same. We have unique circumstances which we need to address separately, but as we see as a united group, we can address those challenges in cooperation so that we will ensure the success of economic growth, trade liberalization, freeing of markets, in addressing each of the challenges which are unique to all of the member APEC economies.
The ministers agreed that working together ensures meaningful outcomes for the people, especially as the region is harnessing opportunities brought about by the internet and digital economy. Representing Papua New Guinea, Minister for Commerce and Industry Wera Mori stated in a joint press conference that though Papua New Guinea is the smallest and least developed of the APAC economies, the country is working on evolving and adapting to the global shift towards digitalization.
Where there is a vision, there is a way, and we are working towards achieving that. We would want to connect the back of our 8.5 million so that they can be able to especially participate in the MSMEs and the SMEs. And there are different, there are different approaches to that, and some has been demonstrated not only yesterday, but the day before yesterday, and we are basically working on that to improve that.
Leanne Jarari, National EMTV News.
The third APEC senior officials meeting, which is set to begin in August, is expected to be hectic compared to the first and second SOMs. This was highlighted by SOM Chair Ivan Pomaliu. He made these remarks during the closure of the second APEC senior officials meetings in Port Moresby.
APEC as a whole.
The SOM Chair explains that much of the preparations for the third senior officials meeting begins immediately after the hosting of the 3 ministerial meetings. This includes the APEC Tourism Week, which begins this coming Monday and concludes on Friday, and the Senior Financial Officials meeting, which will be held in Madang. It commences in mid-June.
There's a number of important standalone meetings. 2 of them. One is the Senior Finance Officers meetings that will run from the 5th to the 8th of June, in Madang. So our officials are already working to ensure that that meeting happens. And
much of the discussions in those ministerial meetings are focused on finding common grounds on trade and investment policies between APEC member countries. For Papua New Guinea, ministers representing the different portfolios are bringing to the discussion table the current policy in place in PNG and the challenges in achieving those policy goals.
It's the Tourism Week, so we have a whole range of programs happening on the 28th right up to the 1st. The 1st is when the Tourism Ministers meeting number 10 will get underway, followed by a regional visit to Kavieng on the 2nd. So,
for security of APEC delegates, Deputy Commander of the Joint Security Task Force, Colonel Gary Oppa, explains that there will be different levels of security checks at the different meetings. This is to ensure PNG delivers a safe and secure APEC.
It was designed that has different levels of security for each of the delegates that arrive. So for the ministers that have arrived lately, you may have seen a heightened level of security, and you've seen the escorts for the ministers that have been going through the routes from the airport through to the accommodation areas, as well as the meeting venues. So,
Sekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
To other news now, the 26th SP Sports Awards recognizing the outstanding performance of sporting personalities in 2017 is on again at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Port Moresby. There are 11 categories, including Best Male and Female Athletes of the Year. Elijah Lavette is attending the event, and he joins us now with one of the finalists in the sports media category, EMTV's Godwin Eki.
Thank you, Helen. Yes, I'm at the Crown Plaza Hotel and I'm with one of the nominees for the Sports Media Award, our very own Godwin Eki, mate. Being nominated and being part of the 3 finalists, mate, it must be good for you. Tell us, who are you going up against?
Well, firstly, I'd just like to take a big thank you to the selection committee for selecting me for this year's SP Sports Awards in the category of Media Sports Awards. Tonight, I'll be up against the National and FM 100 Talkback Show, Sports Talkback Show. So congratulations to them for being nominees for this year's award as well. So, yeah.
You know, there are guests and invited guests coming in slowly. Mate, athletes are coming in slowly. Just tell us about the night itself.
Well, it's no different to any other SP Sports Awards in the past. We've got a great number of elite athletes, the up-and-coming athletes as well. And we've been the eyes and ears of these athletes throughout 2017, following them, being the eyes and ears, like I said, to Papua New Guinea, and to now recognize their talents and their achievements. Congratulations to everyone who's here tonight, and we look forward to the winning athletes and team and officials for the SP Sports Awards. Yeah.
So, mate, we wish you all the best in tonight's activity. Hopefully we get this, not. But yes, that's about it. Guests are moving in slowly and the program is about to start. But that's about it from here, and it's back to you, Helen.
Thanks, Elijah, and all the best to Godwin. Hopefully we join Elijah again later on in the news. We'll take a break and be back with more of National EMTV News. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The body of a 26-year-old man from Gulf Province arrived in Port Moresby on board a fishing vessel today. The vessel, Diamond 206 Port Moresby, a tuna fishing boat, belongs to a nationally owned fishing company, Farewell Investment. The circumstances surrounding his death are unclear. However, the family of the deceased, including his brother, said they received a phone call on Wednesday about his passing a day after he died. St. John's ambulance was at the scene to take the body to the hospital. An autopsy will be carried out to determine the cause of death. Over 100 students from Badihagwa Technical Secondary School in Port Moresby were apprehended by police after they met at the Jack Piddick Park to officiate a peace ceremony. The students were rounded up by 3 police units between 3 and 4 p.m. yesterday as they were congregating. Pocket knives, amongst other sharp weapons, were confiscated, and the students, who were put in pairs, were marched to the Boroko police station for further questioning. On Thursday afternoon, there were attempts of a school fight between Kilakila Secondary and Badihagwa students at Boroko, but police intervened and dispersed the students. The country's borrowings and how much is repaid monthly was questioned in Parliament this week. Member for Namatanai, Walter Schnobelt, asked Treasurer Charles Abel to clarify the repayment process. Minister Abel responded, saying the repayments vary on a monthly basis and that he was unable to give exact figures.
Namatanai MP Walter Schnobelt asked the Treasurer to give an exact figure on how much loan PNG has and the repayment process.
And if you could, please, in subsequent session, one legally report too long, so we can appreciate one of debt block country stop now. Na yumikisim dinaw low sat na yumi buying all Hamas na one of all interest long all this pla dinaw. Thank you. But now I'm talking me to solve. What's our monthly repayment now long all get outstanding dinaw blame. Thank you.
Treasurer Abel said the O'Neill government is making use of funding opportunities to fund projects. He said the government was borrowing within the debt to GDP range.
The coalition government 6 years ago, we have taken the opportunity to pursue to the full extent within our fiscal framework, that is our debt to GDP ratio and our Fiscal Responsibility Act, to go out and try and avail ourselves of this resourcing so that we can begin to fully fund many of our development programs. And we have been successful in doing so, Mr. Speaker, in the sense that there's many things happening around the country now for the first time, including right down to district level, because we are making ourselves available of these resources, whilst always sticking within the guiding debt to GDP ratio.
The Treasurer went on to explain that he was not able to give an exact figure due to the numbers varying each month.
And as per the budget provisions, they meet these obligations. And so it's not possible to give you an exact figure on a month-by-month basis. It varies. But suffice to say that there's a process that happens and these obligations have been met and they're provided for in the budget. It may vary this month to next month depending on what particular loan is falling due.
Point of order.
Snowbelt then interrupted with a point of order.
Numbers. He can't give us an excuse that he doesn't know. Karim Han paus lo country na lookout team. How na no sawe one number is stop.
The Treasurer responded saying he would be able to give the numbers in the next parliamentary sitting.
I'm not privy to particular pieces of information. You can pick any element of the budget and ask me that particular thing. I can't necessarily give you that figure right now. I will get you that information because it varies from month to month. And I will get you that particular piece of information if you want. And if you want another particular detailed piece of information, you can ask me another question. I'll bring you that next week as well. Those obligations are being met, they are budgeted, and these repayments vary from month to month, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Adelaide Sirox Kari, National EMTV News.
East Sepik Governor Alan Bird has called for more support for local farmers in his province. Questioning the government, the governor asked if there were grants set aside to support vanilla farmers in his province.
Mr. Speaker, there is no support for our cocoa or vanilla farmers.
Governor Bird directed his questions to Treasurer Charles Abel. He said the Sepik region currently exports 95% of the country's vanilla and asked if the government had parked aside derivative grants from agriculture exports to support local farmers.
Now, suppose mibla inonap long kisim government funds, na suppose mibla inonap lo kisim donor funds, suppose government inablo luglug lo painim sampla road, at least derivative grants way come up lo hard work, blow all hard-working farmers, blow people, blow East Sepik. At least this money must come back, regardless of which province they are exporting it from. So the provincial government can continue to maintain the infrastructure so that our farmers can continue to produce the crops, to continue to earn revenue and forex for the country, because right now we are unable to support them.
But I take note of your comments in relation.
The Treasurer in response said he is not aware of any budgetary provisions on derivative grants. However, he says the government has come up with special interventions to support the agriculture sector.
In the budget, in terms of our special intervention into agriculture and emphasis there are funds that we are making available there through the commercialization fund, also through the NDB, for smaller farmers, but also higher level intervention.
He announced the European Union will come in to assist with 3 billion kina.
I also want to say that in terms of support to particularly the cocoa production, but also vanilla, in the Sepik region in general, West and East Sepik, that program has been developed with the support of the European Union that involves a significant amount of money to the value of 85 million euro.
Mr. Abel further added, every province and district has the opportunity to support their local agriculture sectors through their provincial and district services improvement program.
Districts and provincial governments to take advantage of that additional funding that is flowing down to that level, where a portion of that is allocated for the purpose of economic industry support. And in most of our districts, the most relevant economic sector is the agriculture sector.
Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News.
Governor for Simbu, Michael Dua, has urged the RPNGC to reinstate the Mobile Squad 8 based in Kirawagi. The MS-8 was suspended 2 months ago following allegations of looting at the ExxonMobil plant site and not providing security when the 7.8 earthquake struck Hela province. In Parliament this week, the Simbu governor questioned the police minister on the status of the Mobile Squad 8.
Simbu Governor Michael Dua said there is a need for the Mobile Squad Province unit to be reinstated in the province.
Time all stand all down ipla safety na security people me compromise him. Plan trust na believe stable Mobile Squad.
Governor Dua said the suspension should be directed at individual squad members and not the entire unit.
Simbu na neighboring province too. Squad lo Simbu emul strong line. Ina pa Minister of Police asware mol people lo Simbu was mobile squad lo by kubeglo duty. Lo provide security and safety people me.
The police minister responded, assuring the governor that he would speak to the police commissioner on the issue.
Me had this MS-8 all been suspend, but me talk one commissioner na I'm look inside lo disla, so as soon as report come bump time na kisim disla Mobile Squad go back to Simbu province. Thank you.
The Mobile Squad 8 was suspended due to allegations by ExxonMobil of their involvement in looting at the Angora Heights plant that also saw the kidnapping of expat workers by the landowners. The Mobile Squad was providing security at the site under an MOU signed by RPNGC and ExxonMobil. The final decision for suspension came when the MS-8 were not present when the 7.8 earthquake struck Hela province. Adelaide Xerox Kari National, MTV News.
Australian-based founder of Worldwide Evangelistic Ministries is in Port Moresby to give free Bible seminars to everyone who is interested. The 10-day seminar, which began on Wednesday, will be conducted at Bomana Turnoff at the Destiny Fellowship of Churches and is open to all denominations.
The Destiny Fellowship of Christian Churches, located at the Bomana Turnoff, has been hosting day and night Bible seminars. The fellowship has seen a need for many Christians to better understand the Word of God. The 10-day seminar will be conducted by Dr. Douglas Wills, the founder and dean of Worldwide Evangelistic Ministries.
We are here to share nothing more and nothing less than the teachings of the Word of God. We have fellowship with them and we have preaching conventions, but we don't have any headquarters. We don't have anybody telling us what to do. Our loyalty is to Jesus Christ, who is the head of the church.
The Christian Evangelical Foundation is a Bible college and is not affiliated with any denomination. The college has students from many denominations in several countries around the world, and they teach and recognize only the churches portrayed in the New Testament.
We know it's only through the peace child, our Lord Jesus Christ, the child of God, the Son of God, the only begotten Son of God, that has brought us together as brothers and sisters in Christ.
There is no fee charged to attend the seminar. Each day the seminar starts at 9 in the morning. There will also be night classes offered for those who cannot attend during the day. The seminar is expected to end on the 3rd of June.
We say, rise up and spread this message throughout Papua New Guinea.
Stacey Yallo, National MTV News.
Several Central women across Port Moresby have found common ground in floriculture. In a cozy little corner of the National Museum and Art Gallery, they set up stalls where an array of beautiful flower arrangements and crafts are displayed for sale.
From 8 a.m. to 5 in the afternoon, for these women it is business as usual at the National Museum in Port Moresby. Each stall has its own unique display of flower arrangements and eye-catching crafts. The Central Floriculture was set up specially to support Central women like Bahori Joku, who is somewhat of a flower collector and manages her own cut flowers and accessories business.
So what we have is our flowers here, fresh flowers from Malaysia and Indonesia, India, and we also have accessories. There's other women who are also involved, their products are also in this stall here, and they're from Barakau village, and they will be out here as soon as all the stalls are set up. I've been mainly ordering, importing roses from India and China, and we've been providing that to the hotels and many of the florists in the city.
And there are others like Claire Tutuana, who collects flowers too, but has a talent for arts and craft. Claire is also passionate about supporting her womenfolk and believes strongly in the group's mission.
Pot plants and stuff are all in the background, and if you're interested, please come along to the museum and the arts gallery so you can have a look at our stalls. Our plan is to alleviate poverty. Our mission is basically to promote floriculture for sustainable and equitable benefits for all.
Central Floriculture has a standing tenure with the National Museum to use their grounds since its establishment late last year. Melissa Gaviro, National EMTV News.
Stories making headlines overseas when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. We'll check in again with Elijah Lavette, who is attending the 26th SP Sports Awards. Elijah is with the guest speaker Jackie Cooper for tonight's event. Now, Jackie is Australia's all-time champion skier for more than 20 years. We cross over now to Elijah.
Oh yes, I'm with the guest speaker for tonight's SP Sports Awards. That's Jackie Cooper. Now, Jackie, you've been to Papua New Guinea before. You'll be the guest speaker at tonight's SP Sports Awards. Now, tell us, what will you be telling this athlete?
I'm loving this is my 4th visit, and every time I come back, it's to be able to connect with the community and relationships that I've made in the past. Tonight, I'm really going to be talking to the athletes that, you know, there should be themselves, because not everyone's going to win an award. All here, they're all special. They've put in a massive effort to be here, and that the most important part of any performance, the sporting performance, the performance in work, is your effort. And that's what's brought them here, is effort, passion, drive, determination, all of that. And I will tell everyone in the room that to get the very best out of yourself is to have a champion attitude when you're down, when you've had an injury, when maybe you haven't won. And it's the attitude behind the athlete that will make you the champion.
Now, you've been to Papua New Guinea before, that's right?
Yeah, I have.
Where
this
have
is
you been to?
Oh, look, I actually went out to many of the settlements to have a visit. In my first visit, I was really just wanting to see as much as I could in this area. I've been to the area, but I did had a man drive me around. I've been to the War Memorial. I took in some settlements. I've been to a school. Stayed at a few of the hotels. Been to the yacht club. We even had a little bit of got out on the water as well in somebody's boat. So I haven't seen enough. That's why I want to keep coming back.
You'll be attending the Hunters game tomorrow?
Yes, I actually went and met the players today, and seriously, I had a crush on a couple of them. They were so cute, a little bit like teddy bears.
You guys have to win now.
Yeah, so tomorrow I am going to feel a little bit conflicted because they're playing a team from Townsville, being an Australian, I'm not sure. But I'm going to be wearing my SP Hunters t-shirt and my cap. And now that I've met them and been in the change rooms, I sort of feel like I'm a part of the family. So, yeah, they were excited, just as I was today, to sort of meet each other.
Thank you very much, Jackie, for your time, and hopefully you enjoy this night.
It's going to be great.
Thank you. Bye. Back to you, Helen.
Thank you, Elijah. Now to some overseas news. Investigators say the missile which brought down a Malaysian Airlines flight back in 2014 was fired from a launcher belonging to a Russian military unit. And they're asking members of the public to help identify anyone involved in the attack. Almost 300 people were killed when flight MH17 was brought down in eastern Ukraine.
The challenges for anyone trying to work out what happened to MH17 were enormous. At the scene, we found a vast unsecured debris field in the middle of a war zone. Wreckage, evidence, victims, their personal belongings, all left lying in the fields of eastern Ukraine.
The remains of its crew and passengers are everywhere, and yet there is no one here trying to work out what happened, no one here to take responsibility for this.
Over the following weeks, the victims were recovered. 4 months later, the wreckage was finally removed.
This is part of the operation, and you can see it's not a delicate one, to collect the scattered debris of the aircraft.
As investigators pieced together what remained of MH17, they found among the wreckage and within the bodies of the crew pieces of a Buk missile. They were compared to unfired missiles of the same type. One was detonated to study the force and nature of the blast. Investigators were in no doubt about what brought down the aircraft, but tracing its origins required meticulous forensic work. They studied data from local phone towers, recordings of intercepted calls made and received by people travelling with the weapon, videos and photos posted online, witness accounts and satellite images. In 2016, the investigators said all of that allowed them to accurately plot the course of the convoy carrying the Buk missile system, which shot down MH17.
This Buk was brought in from the territory of the Russian Federation and after launch was subsequently returned to the Russian Federation territory.
Now, the investigators have revealed the specific Russian military unit they believe the missile launch vehicle originated from, the 53rd Anti-Aircraft Missile Brigade. Again, using online videos, they say they identified unique markings on the suspect launcher and tracked its journey in a convoy from an area near the Russian city of Kursk, home of the 53rd Brigade. Investigators still haven't openly accused Russian military personnel, but they say they know a lot more than they're revealing about the roles played by specific individuals. Now they're appealing to hear from people who can answer questions about the 53rd Brigade and the suspect launcher.
Who was part of the crew? What was the instruction given to them? Who was responsible for the operational deployment of this Buk-Taylor on 17 July 2014?
Russia has again denied any involvement, but investigators say they're getting close to identifying who was responsible for killing 298 innocent people, and their inquiries are leading in only one direction, deep into Russian territory.
North Korea's nuclear tensions are sky high again, this after the U.S. cancelled a historic summit. Pyongyang has blamed Washington for the move despite days of menacing exchanges. It came as the regime blew up its nuclear testing site in an apparent gesture of goodwill.
Delicate denuclearization negotiations with North Korea have blown up.
I believe that this is a tremendous setback for North Korea and indeed a setback for the world.
Trump returning to his fire and fury rhetoric.
And our military, which is by far the most powerful anywhere in the world, that has been greatly enhanced recently, as you all know, is ready if necessary.
And underlining America's military might again in his letter to Kim Jong-un, cancelling their summit, telling him, you talk about your nuclear capabilities, but ours are so massive and powerful, I pray to God that they'll never have to be used. Talks collapsing after North Korea called Vice President Mike Pence ignorant and stupid, but the summit was already in trouble, according to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who met with Kim twice.
Over the past many days, we have endeavored to do what Chairman Kim and I had agreed, was to put preparation teams together to begin to work to prepare for the summit. And we had received no response to our inquiries from them.
So Trump walking away first, but leaving the door open for future talks.
If and when Kim Jong-un chooses to engage in constructive dialogue and actions, I am waiting.
And he didn't have to wait long. Kim Jong-un saying late today that he's ready to meet any time, and this summit's desperately needed to resolve those grave hostilities. It's a surprisingly conciliatory tone, but all too late to rescue the situation.
And in an ironic twist, this all happening on the day North Korea blew up its nuclear testing facility.
3, 2, 1.
A gesture of goodwill towards the US, although it's difficult to know how sincere.
They could test if they wanted to test somewhere else, and they may be planning and preparing to do that, perhaps on a contingency basis already.
So the Korean Peninsula is again tonight on high alert.
Mr. President, does the breakdown of this summit raise the risk of war with North Korea? Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll see, fast becoming Trump's foreign policy.
Coming up next in Chukai Sports, we'll bring you the results of the NSL Grand Final matches in Leh today. Don't go away.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. Now to the big news in sports today, the NSL Grand Final in Leh. The reigning champions for National Soccer League, Toti City, have taken out the minor premiership for the third time. Toti City won by 3 goals, defeating Besta PNG United at the Grand Final match played in Leh, Morobe this afternoon. Shane Saroya is in Leh and files this report.
The Grand Final was a test of fate between the 3 times undisputed NSL champions and minor premiership title holders Toti City FC and the youngsters Besta PNG United. For Besta, it was the match to be remembered as the club marks its historical appearance in the PNG top domestic league after 8 season appearances. Besta were equal to the task, making City work in periods of the first half. But as the game progresses, experience settled in for the minor premiers as they took control in the passage of play. A brilliant save from Besta goalkeeper Graham Warringama fueled the crowd as they erupted into a frenzy. Bati Kerubin sparked a moment of brilliance, linking up with fellow forward almost past Warrison. Besta continued on their scintillating performance, questioning City's backline, backed by some impressive saves by Besta keeper Graham Warringama. But the game changer came at the expense of Besta after a foul play in the flanks, that soon followed by a header from Troy Gunemba. City kick off the second half with a bang, netting their second goal. Toti City proved why they are the reigning champions, taking control of the game and wearing down the young Besta outfit. Physically, Besta was outmuscled, despite the young side creating chances with their short passing game. But the final goal came from who else but competition top scorer Raymond Gunemba, with the final nail on the coffin, sealing a 3-0 win over Besta. Toti City takes out the 2018 National Soccer League Minor Premiership Trophy as the undisputed 3-time champions.
So when they came in, the first half, I think Toti controlled 75% of the game. I'm happy with the overall performance for the boys, especially this afternoon.
Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports, Leh.
SP Morobe Wawens secured their first heat silverware after defeating Madang FC 2-0 in the National Soccer League Grand Final 3rd and 4th place playoff in Leh. Wawens were instrumental in their first year in the NFL with a well-deserved 3rd place finish over regular season campaigners Madang FC. Shane Saroya with this story from Leh.
Leh City welcomed Madang FC and Morobe Wawens under a clear sky with a lively audience at the Segnisis Kilage Stadium. The SIK once again did not fail to impress with another highly charged atmosphere of screaming supporters. Charged and ready for battle, Madang were out for revenge after suffering a misfortune on the expense of Toti City last weekend. The only thing standing in their way and the trophy is newcomers and crowd favourites FC Morobe Wawens. Madang started the first half with a 4-4-2 format. An early skillful play from right flank Emmanuel Aram showed promising signs for the visitors. But with a sudden twist of fate, Madang found themselves on the back foot after a brilliant corner from the host. As the grey blanket of stretching clouds cleared over the stadium and the sun picked with its contrast, it was as if a spell had broken as Wawens forwards came charging, forcing Madang's goalkeeper to do numerous saves. But as Madang pressed forward in attack, frustrations boiled over for the home side, resulting in players cautioned by the match official. The center field coordination of Samuel Keeney and Michael Foster seemed to have reached a solid wall of yellow defense, despite several close calls on the brink of halftime. By the end of the first interval, the home side had their noses in front by a goal with the visitors still scoreless. Buoyed by the home crowd support, Wawens opened the second half with clinical attack and applied caution in their defense, putting Medang under all sorts of pressure. Medang's show of perseverance didn't go unchallenged. Several shots fired on Wawens' goalmouth lapped in defense, hit the bar or blocked on course. Wawens' resilience soon paid off in the final quarter of the second stanza. With a brilliant solo effort from Wawens' defender extended their lead. At the final whistle, the Morobians had done enough to send the visitors packing and seal the third place finish. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports, Leh.
Still to come in Trukai Sports, some kickboxing and NRL. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Former SP Hunters and Kumuls player Timothy Lomai will be participating in the upcoming kickboxing showdown in September. Lomai, who once donned the Kumuls jersey, is preparing to fight in the heavyweight division.
Timothy Lomai, who once took up the sport of kickboxing as a kid, left the code to pursue his rugby league career. He will be fighting in the heavyweight division and is PNG's only heavyweight fighter. Stanley Nandek says it is good to have Lomai back in the team.
Heavyweights around the world is highly demanded, and a lot of people, fan base, want to see the really heavyweights crashing and that sort of thing. And I think he's got a bit of that, and we've got a fair bit of work to be done. Just to put him on the right track.
Lomai, who currently plays with the Hela Wigmen in the PNG NRL competition, says he's glad to be back in the ring and is looking forward to the upcoming tournament.
But I left off uncompleted, and I went on to be part of the Hunters and onwards to Kumul and all that. And I think I've missed a lot, and I think this is one of the greatest opportunity, which with the headhunter Stanley Nandek has started again, and I'm really pleased and I'm really happy to be part of, and I'm looking forward to be part of the team.
PNG MMA fighter Adrian Pang has also been confirmed to participate in the tournament and will be fighting in the 74 kg division.
To have him, Adrian Pang has actually created a good history, good profile for Papua New Guinea, representing PNG always on his heart, and I think having him in his own home soil and fighting in front of his own people for the first time, I think it's a great opportunity for Papua New Guinea to see in life.
PNG kickboxing is slowly picking up after almost 4 years of disruption in the code's administration. In September, PNG kickboxing will be hosting a big showdown featuring PNG's best fighters who will be going up against the world's best 3. The tournament will also see Rickson Yamo defend his title. PNG KBF will be sending fighters to compete in the World Championships in Argentina.
I think kickboxing is got our only sport that has got opportunity. We have done it, and I think we're looking forward to take these fighters for the Argentina, which 85 countries are coming, and we like to showcase that PNG can able to raise another bar in that level.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Rickson Yamo will be defending his welterweight world title in September. Yamo says preparations are well and is looking forward to defending his title in front of the home crowd.
Great to be back, and I've been out for probably 2 years, and I'm feeling excited to get back and train with the boys, and nothing much, but I'm feeling excited, looking forward, and I want to be part of this big event. And it's not like before, this is going to be the big event, so I want to call out on all the sponsors and individuals who want to be part of the team, and to come and support us, that's all.
This opportunity to thank the kickboxing system. I've been out for the ring probably a long time, so it's good to be back to train alone next to Timmy and Rickson. Well, nothing much to say. We just put our heads up and then look forward for the event coming up, and then we'll make sure we make PNG proud and our country and the family.
Now to NRL, Brisbane Broncos coach Wayne Bennett celebrated his 800th NRL match in style with a clinical win over the Eels last night at Suncorp Stadium.
Brisbane opening the scoring through a Christchurch-born back, Jermaine Isaako.
Nikarima's the kicker this time. Angles it across field. Roberts is in the vicinity. Isaako is there as well. Jermaine Isaako in a rich vein of form.
Yes, Bennett's men raced to a 14-point lead before the Eels hit back to give themselves a glimmer of hope. But it was too little too late as Bennett celebrated the milestone with an 18-10 win.
And that ends Trukai Sports. Up next with the details for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
Looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow, in the southern region, evening showers in Port Moresby and Kerama, a shower or two in Popondetta, rain and drizzle in Alotau, and mostly fine in Daru. In the Momasu region, a shower or two in Lae, showers in Wau, mostly fine in Madang and Wewak, and brief showers in Vanimore. In the New Guinea Islands region, fine, although some clouds in all across the region in Lorengau, Kaving, Kokoporobau, Kimbe and Buka. And in the Highlands region, evening showers in Mount Hagen. A shower or two can be expected in Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's how we end National EMTV News this Saturday, the 26th of May 2018. From the entire news team, pleasant viewing and good night.